Chiro.
Cheer.
F11.
Welcome
Shut up.
to...
What? The world map looks
D&D.
weird. What is
What
this?
looks weird? Everything looks weird. Oh, hello.
Yeah, it's like
I
very
think you
low-
might need glasses if everything looks weird.
What is this?
This was the greatest opening of ever.
Alright, here we go. Ready?
It's time for the great no copyright music.
Last we left off, you found yourselves in Wintervale, going around the town and finishing up.
Wintervale? We were in the Sentinels, weren't
Yeah, but we moved. didn't
But
we?
you came from Wintervale.
Oh yeah, we did, sorry.
Yeah, you did.
Can we try that
Div.
again? Delete that.
You fucking
Yes, we can.
spanner.
Alright,
just got a
so
call.
last we left off, you had just left Wintervale after finishing up some last-minute business and other such things you needed to take care of. You found passage on the pirate ship of Durgots, heading towards Santine. Going there, you managed to disboard the ship, and you made it to the town in the Santine Isles, to the
You said we
bank.
managed to disboard the ship as if it was like, as if we were not allowed to.
Yes, you were allowed to. Well, you almost weren't allowed to, but anyways. You find yourselves at the Baying Mule Inn, where you talk to Shalisa, the Dragonborn tavern owner, where you delivered a package from a Mr. Ducor, which turned out to be a small sample of rum that he had made. After trying it, Shalisa decides that she wants to start a distribution with his rum being shipped from Wintervale, the main continent, to the Santine Isles. And that is where we left off. Your rooms were paid for by Shalisa, and you wake up now, and the whole day is yours.
Nice. Didn't she give us a quest or something?
She did.
She did give you a quest.
She wants us to make sure.
That the next shipment is like... Okay.
Yeah, she was having trouble with the shipments of rum that are distilled in the north part of the island, making it to the drop-off point at the docks where your ship was docked at. She asked you to investigate and put a stop to it in any way that you see necessary.
Anyway.
Any way you see necessary.
Murder.
Murder!
Trust you.
Nice. I'm pretty sure we could just ask them nicely.
I'm pretty sure we could.
Hey, could you stop like stealing things? That'd be nice.
Shut up and take my money.
So yeah, the day is yours. You're on the Santine Isles. You have a new quest. What would you like to do?
I also have a hungering for some breakfast. So head
Yeah,
down to the
okay,
bar
breakfast.
and hope something's been prepared.
Okay. So everybody is waking up and making their way downstairs
Yeah.
from their rooms.
Food.
Okay. You go down into the tavern, and it's a good deal less busy than it was the night before. Shalisa is behind the counter, cleaning up after the night's ruckus from all these different pirates and crew members having drinks and just having general merrymaking. You do smell what seems to be a breakfast of some sort cooking.
I approached Lisa
Okay.
and ask. First of all, give a hearty Dragonborn greeting again. And
She nods politely and says, "Thank you, thank you."
and I ask, is there any breakfast meals potentially we could partake in?
There is. We just got finished making up some eggs and bacon.
Ooh.
It'll be a silver a plate, or a copper a plate, excuse me. If you're interested in getting some grub.
I say I certainly am. Is everyone else?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Let's
please.
get some food.
And I hand over 5 silver.
Copper, not silver. That was
Did
my
I
bad.
stutter? No. I hand over 5 cards.
Okay.
Did I fucking stutter?
Out of a 6 card, so why not?
No, you're
But, okay.
so generous.
So yeah, you
That's nice.
hand over the 5 copper,
Your money.
and she goes in the back and comes out with like a large serving platter that has 5 plates of bacon and eggs on it.
Are these some fine bacon and eggs as I'm chowing down?
And she says, "We only do eggs one way here. It's easier for larger groups instead of individual orders."
Well, lucky for you, this is the way I like them.
And you can see that they're just this regular old scrambled eggs.
Nice. Are they very nice scrambled eggs?
They look pretty good, yeah. Looks like they're well cooked. They're still hot. There's still like steam coming off of the eggs, and you can see a little bit of like crushed black like pepper on them. So you know they're well seasoned and still pretty hot and fresh.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna give Sam one of my strips of bacon.
Okay. What is Samuel, by the way? I forget.
I think he's still a hawk.
What did I call my raven, right? Azia. I'm also gonna give Azia some food.
Okay.
Look how good I am.
So yeah, the two of you kind of tear off some strips of your bacon and feed it to your familiars. They don't necessarily need food, but they appreciate the gesture.
It makes me happy when he eats, okay?
Yes.
So yeah, as you finish your breakfast, you can choose to either leave the tavern or explore around the town. The choice is totally up to you.
I'd like to ask Shalisa before we potentially leave. Is there anything more you can tell us about your potential import problem?
Well, she tells you that she believes that it's being intercepted somewhere in transit, and the way that it's like shipped down from the north side of the island to the docks is basically they're put on large, like flat rafts, and the barrels are tied down, and they go along like the shallow parts of the water around the island. And they're supposed to make it to the docks where they're unloaded, and then the rafts like go back, you know, up north.
Okay.
That's really about all she knows.
Kind of,
That's
I
why.
show her my map that we got to her and ask if she can like circle roughly where she thinks the shipments are being intercepted.
Okay, so she looks at your map. 1 second. Let's see. So, yeah, so on your map in the northwest corner, you'll see a house marker.
Northwest.
It's to the left of the large
yeah,
lake.
sure.
That's where the rum is brewed,
Right.
and then it's shipped south along like the shallows and the shoreline, around to the docks where the anchor icon is.
Cool. So it's somewhere between that.
So somewhere in that area, but again, she's not 100% sure. That's why she's having you investigate.
In that case, I thank her. Thank you. I turn to the party.
And she says, your best bet is probably to just follow the shoreline and go straight north from here. And I'm sure whoever's doing it, they have to have some kind of a hideout or a place they go to.
Are you expecting any shipments soon?
There was supposed to be one a few days ago, but it never showed up.
It's not the party. Hey
Yeah.
guys.
Mhm.
And is there anything we want to do in town before we head out potentially?
I'm not me.
Not really.
Everyone's
I
good.
don't mind. I don't mind getting a cart somehow because I do have a horse now, and that'd make traveling a bit quicker.
You have a horse? When did you
Yeah,
get
I
a
have
horse?
a magic star horse.
Okay.
Because fuck normal horses, am I right?
Yeah, I cast Give Me a Horse at 2nd level yesterday.
You cast give me a horse. That is a
Okay,
Yeah.
spell?
that's the summon steed
Fine steed.
or find steed. Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
You can do that?
Yeah.
So as you
Apparently you
do,
can.
your celestial golden maned steed appears.
Yeah, I cast it yesterday already.
Okay. It's only once per day.
It doesn't have a duration, so.
Okay. So then it would still
it'll
be there.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, your steed is there.
Yeah. It says it disappears when it drops to 0 hit points, so I think that's how it works. I haven't used it before.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
But I wouldn't mind finding like a cart for it, because then it'd make all of us moving as far a little bit easier.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
nice.
Okay, so your best bet would be to go to the market area, not far from where the tavern is. As you follow the road, you'll come into like an open air market sort of area.
Alright, I'll head down there.
Okay.
Before we leave.
So as you go that way, you go north from the tavern, and you come into like the city proper, and you can see that there's like stone walls, and there's a big like open air market with vendors and stalls situated around the courtyard. Immediately you see five stalls, sorry. Each one like kind of different sizes with like a different color scheme and like a different person behind each one. So yeah, you can go ahead and investigate to see what you find, or if you're looking for the cart in particular, you can also do like a perception check to see if any of the stalls that you currently see, if they would have something of that nature.
I would like to check for a cart.
Okay, so yeah, roll investigation,
Loving these investigation rolls.
right?
I got a 10.
A 10, okay. Yeah, that should be good enough, I think. So what you see is there's a larger stall kind of in the northwest side of the courtyard, and you see that the guy has different general wares. You see like some arrows and bed packs and lanterns and just general adventuring supplies. And you see what looks like horse tack, like saddles and reins and different things of that nature. So that would probably be your best bet.
In that case, I go over. I
Okay.
introduce myself. Hello. I'm looking for a cart if you would have one.
Okay, so yeah, as you get the stall owner's attention, who's currently kind of leaning up against his stall and talking to a possible another customer, he kind of turns around and you see that he's just a normal human, and he says, hi, my name is Kyrian. Is there
Hello,
anything
I'm,
in particular that I can help you with today?
I'm looking for a cart fit for a small party of about 4 or 5.
Well, what size of cart are you looking for?
One sizable enough to hopefully carry.
Well, we have a small cart for a single horse to pull, and we have a larger cart that 2 horses would have to pull.
Probably the smaller cart then.
Okay. So yeah, he says if you go around to the stable master, he's just outside of the main gate on the north part of town. You'll find the carriage there, and he writes out like a slip and gives it to you and says, just give him this, and he'll give you the cart. But for the cart itself, it's 100 gold.
100 gold? Do I pay you or him?
You would pay me, yes, and the
Okay.
the slip I just gave you is validation of the transaction.
I would like
what's
to
going
perceive if he's bullshitting me.
What's that?
I want to know if he's bullshitting me. I don't know what I roll for that.
Okay, roll an insight check.
I can help you pay it.
I've got a reasonable amount of money.
15?
15?
No, he's a legitimate businessman. He's trying to make money, just like anyone else, so...
Well,
You know, the
okay.
price for the cart might be maybe a little bit steep, but as far as, like, the truthfulness, he's telling you the truth.
Can I ask him, this cart can hold the 5 of us, yes?
It should be able to, yeah. It should hold 5, maybe some gear. But you want to make sure not to overwhelm your horse too much.
Oh, it's quite a special horse, I'll tell you that.
Oh,
And,
stop it.
Well, then you should have no problem then, right?
I like, do the elbow thing where you're like, shut the fuck up.
So yeah,
I see.
he gives
In
you
that
the receipt, if you will, the validation, and as soon as you go to the stable master, you'll have yourself a brand new shiny cart.
In that case, I'm off to that stable master.
Okay. So yeah, you follow his directions and you go north out of town, and you see the like main gates for the town looming ahead of you, and you go through the town guards, not necessarily royal guards or anything of that nature, just more or less regular civilians banded together to kind of keep the peace around town. They draw the gates open for you, and as you walk out, immediately to your right, you see a small kind of stable area with different horses and a man behind a counter, almost like one of the merchant stalls, and he has different tack and like all the reins and different devices to hold the horses to the cart and keep everything together.
I approach the man, paper in hand. Like,
Okay. And you give it to him?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, he takes it from you and reads it over and kind of nods his head and says, okay, and points over to behind where the stables are, and you see a couple different carts of different sizes kind of parked up against the main wall. And he says, the smaller one there on the right, that'll be yours.
Thank you. And I go and try and buckle the horse up to it.
Okay. Do you have any tack for it?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Can I ask him if he happens to sell it? Because that'd be nice.
He says, oh yes, of course. We sell tack and reins and anything you might need. For a full set to get the horse onto your cart and get it going, it'll be 50 gold.
Ooh.
That'll be the harnesses and the reins and everything you need.
How much?
50 gold.
I can pay that. You already paid for the card.
Thank you.
I'll pay for it.
Okay. So yeah, you now have all the tack you need to
Nice.
get your cart going and make it a fully functional cart.
Hook my horse up with this new tech. With a little bit of guidance from the guy at the stable, because I have no idea what I'm doing. We now have...
Yeah, and he's very good about showing you. He shows you how the harnesses go on and how they attach to the cart itself, and the most comfortable way to have the reins in the horse's mouth without it, like rubbing against the gums or
So,
causing
you might
it
have paid a bit, but
discomfort.
it's a quality deal.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Nice.
You're always so suspicious. You're someone who's so nice to everyone. Always.
Well, it just costs a lot of money, okay? Like, I'm nice, but I'm also a bit thrifty.
Your sheep, that's what you're saying.
Yes, 11 sheep.
So you now have your cart, and you
Nice.
are at the northern gate, facing the inland of the dense green jungle ahead of you.
My horse still doesn't have a name. Does anyone name my horse? Shadow.
I didn't know.
Shadowfax.
Alright,
That's
Shadow.
That's
Oh.
Trigger the Third. I'm
No,
sorry.
we'll think about it on the way back.
Namel. Namel.
In the mill.
One thing I've noticed, you guys aren't great about naming stuff.
No, not really.
Mm.
Our group still doesn't have a name.
It could be the language barrier.
The language barrier. In that case, I mount my trusty nameless steed
Okay.
and back at everyone again in this car.
Ow.
And just for reference too, as of now, with the harnesses and all the carriage tack on it, the horse you're on, your celestial steed, it doesn't have a saddle of its own, so you're riding it bareback right now.
You're riding it bareback.
Cool. It's a war horse, it should be fine. He's cool.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be fine, but, you know,
Yeah.
it could leave you with, like, the cowboy walk for a little bit.
Oh well. I'll be a cowboy paladin.
That's adorable.
Um,
Should we buy you a little hat?
Little cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Or one that can cast magic missile 6 times.
So, at this point, to head north in search of what's become of the rum shipments, are you going, like, inland, or are you going closer off to the beach?
Do we want to go, like, along the shore?
Yeah, I
Would
think
that be
that'd
shorter? I think that would be shorter, wouldn't it?
I feel like we don't know how far inland they might be, so if we overshoot it, that could be bad.
Yeah.
It's like near the
Split
shore.
up, but that's a bad idea.
No, don't split the party, that's bad.
I know.
But you could also, like, overshoot it going inland as well, too, because for all you know, they may not even be, like, in the jungle, they could be, like, on a boat somewhere.
And that's why we're going along the shore.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that's
You
why.
can always do both, like go to the thing the shoreline, then go back through the jungle.
That's a good idea.
That's
This is why we
true.
have you.
That's the only reason.
That's the only reason. So you can navigate for us.
Yeah, with my whole with my wisdom score of 8 minus 1 wisdom modifier.
Amazing. Well, you know.
Every once in a while, you have a great idea.
Yeah.
Not a good idea, a great idea.
A great idea, that's just so crazy it might work kind of way. I'll set off along the shore
Using
going
two different ways on the way there and back. What a crazy idea! Never
You're
done
mad.
before.
I'll set
But-
off like on the way, like on the shore side then.
Okay, yeah, and there's a small, like, dirt road that goes, like, off to the left that you feel like would take you down to, like, the shoreline that you could follow.
Alright. I'm gonna have Sam fly ahead a bit as well. Just to,
Yeah,
have a look at
I'll
things.
have fly ahead as well.
Okay,
Watch out for the
about
Latinus cubes.
how far ahead?
60 feet ahead.
60 feet ahead? Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
60 ahead.
Alright, cool. So yeah, following the shoreline, you can see there's, like, tide pools off to the left, and you see the teeth-like rock outcroppings that surround the entire island, creating a natural barrier. You see that, like, off into the water, and you're following the shoreline. You don't see any footprints or any horse tracks or really anything of that nature. So at this point, you're just following the shore, going north. That's really the only lead that you have.
Are any of the shipments like coming down actively that we can see?
That you can see, no. You don't see any like, rafts in the water, any barrels or anything like that.
Also, just for reference, we have a thing to go get some black rock for not my boyfriend.
That would be...
That's-
That's on
Boyfriend,
Buddha,
you-
right?
Who's
Yeah,
your
that would
boyfriend?
be
Who's your
Vidar.
boyfriend.
Yeah.
But you could get your boyfriend a nice souvenir from the pirate island too.
Might do. He's not my boyfriend.
He's your boyfriend. Shut the fuck up.
Not yet. You're
It's not
basically
fair.
married.
We'll just keep going on. While we're riding up, I'll strike up a bit of a conversation about what we should name the horse.
Okay.
Deathbringer the Third.
I don't
No.
like Deathbringer the Third.
On second thought, though, that it sounds really bad.
Yeah, but if I'm like
Yeah.
sidling into town with a crate of like goods that were stolen, and I'm like, oh look, I've saved your town's goods supply. Me and my trusty steed, Deathbringer the Third. It's a little bit anti-hero-y.
No, I think it's perfect.
And then you hear from the
That's
crowd,
necessary.
"That's badass."
Alright, Deathbringer the Third. And Sam?
So yeah, continuing up the coastline, you can see that the jungle kind of comes in closer to the beach and then recedes off a ways and kind of rinses and repeats. You know, there's a lot of varying terrain on the path that you're taking. But the jungle is constantly like looming off to the right side of you, and the ocean is to the left. The direction you're going now.
Still not seeing anything?
What's that?
Still not seeing anything like dodgy and they've like.
Roll a investigation.
Oh.
Please don't roll high.
I can guarantee I won't.
Let me guess
10?
like average.
10.
10. Okay.
What does Sam see?
Oh yeah, Sam's got a. No, Sam has a worse investigation than me. He has terrible intelligence. Sam's dumb as hell.
Okay. Are you
Shut up,
gonna roll for Sam, or are you just taking yours?
Mine's probably better than Sam's
Okay.
investigation.
So up ahead you see what could be like maybe some broken barrels, kind of halfway in the water, like halfway on the beach. Broken open with sand inside of it, weighing it down. It's hard to tell if they would be rum barrels or maybe salvage from an old ship.
I'll have Sam fly on closer to them, so he can like see without us like coming off the trail.
Okay.
And I will look through his eyes.
Alright.
Can I like see any writing on the barrels? Or it's a rum based.
So yeah, roll a perception check for Sam.
Sam was a +4, I think.
What is Sam right now?
He's a hawk still.
Oh, okay.
That's a 12 + 4.
So 16?
Yeah.
Okay. So on the side of the barrel, you see not so much writing, but what looks like it could be like a hot iron brand. Like the side of the barrel has been branded. There's like a symbol. It almost looks like 3 intersecting lines, almost making like a star type pattern. And underneath of it, it says SIR.
Right. I relay this to the Pines. Saying, do we want to check it out, maybe?
We could, yeah.
Yeah.
May as well.
Okay.
I steer. Is it Deathbringer the Third? I don't remember.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
Deathbringer.
the Third.
Deathbringer the Third. I steer Deathbringer the Third over towards the barrels.
Okay. So as you approach, you can see the brand more clearly, and the SIR is in very large font, separated by periods. And underneath it says Santine Isles Rum, and on the other side it looks like it's missing another letter and word on the broken side that's like submerged into the sand.
Can I cast Mending? On the
Mending?
barrel. Yeah.
You could. Mending, I believe, is only good for like a 1 to 2 foot tear.
Oh.
So I don't know if it would
How
repair.
big is this barrel? Oh.
It's
More
a
than a foot?
large barrel, normal size, but it's a
Oh.
large barrel.
But is the hole in it like more than a foot wide?
There isn't really a hole. It's like the bottom half is like cracked
Oh,
and
it's,
broken
like,
and like
completely just-
submerged
yeah.
into the sand.
That's fine then. In that
Yeah.
case. I'll have a crack at mending to see if I can get like anything from it, but
Okay.
I doubt. So I lay my hands on either side of the barrel and start magically mending it.
Okay. It has no effect.
Damn.
Somebody roll a perception check.
Wait, let me do it. I haven't rolled anything today. Yes.
In fact, let me take you to where you are.
24.
Wow.
Oh no.
We have a battle map for this.
24.
How convenient and not at all terrifying.
Perception was right.
Yes. 24.
24.
Okay, so you see
Awesome.
you see opposite side of where the barrel is at the coastline, you see opening into the jungle. Not very large, probably like 8-foot space of clearing. And it just kind of makes like a path back into the dense jungle.
I relay this information. I tell my party this.
Okay.
In that case, I think we might have found our entry. And I take the reins of Deathbringer the Third, I tie them up to a nearby rock.
Sorry.
I
Okay,
say, wait
so-
here, Deathbringer the Third.
Okay, so you
We've
tie off
actually-
the horse and cart.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Roll a knot tying save. No, I'm just kidding.
I have proficiency in knot tying. As in the Boy Scouts.
But so yeah, you're basically at the clearing. You're like where the beach and the jungle begin to meet each other, and it's kind of like grass mixed with sand, and then you see further on like the trees and plant life just kind of take over
Okay.
from there.
The trees, they're gonna speak Vietnamese.
There's like some like large stone cliff faces and like craggy rocks around.
I turn the group and say, so we're going in? To the...
We are
Entrance.
absolutely going in.
In that case, I'll take that lead. One foot in
Okay.
front of
I'll
everyone.
kill you.
I think I'll have bigger problems when I'm dead.
Possible.
All right, so everyone is
Through that clearing. Yeah.
everyone is entering the clearing in the jungle. Then yes.
Yes,
Yes,
the little...
Okay. So as you start to enter into the clearing, you see what looks like maybe a campfire. A good 60 feet ahead of you, like through the dense jungle brush.
That's such a convenient number. I'd like to have Sam fly over to that campfire
Okay.
and see if he instantly gets shot by anything.
Okay.
Oh wow.
So-
I'm not saying Azio.
So Sam flies over to the campfire, and what he sees, or what you see through his eyes, is a large, like, almost like stone fire pit with a large burning fire inside of it and 3 barrels that has the SR or SIR brand on the side of it, kind of grouped around the outside of the fire pit.
Can we read what's on the other side of the barrels now?
Yeah. The missing letter was C. So in all, it would read Santine Isle Rum Company.
Nice. That's that checked off. There's no one trying to murder Sam. Sam doesn't see anyone that's potentially a murderer.
No. You don't see anybody right now.
So we're free of murderers and we found some barrels.
But what you do see behind, like almost directly behind the fire pit, is a large, not like like a man of war, but a large yacht-sized maybe shipwreck that's washed back into the jungle from years of high tides.
Ooh.
And it's, you know, there's like a large hole on the side, and it's definitely not seaworthy anymore at this point.
Oh. I looked at the group and I pointed at the giant shipwreck ship and said, definitely a hideout. 100% bandit hideout.
Oh, really? Are you sure?
I'm definitely sure about that. If you're a bandit, why would you not want to live in a giant shipwreck in the jungle?
That is fair. I have to give
That
it
is
that.
the coolest thing.
So, shall we go then?
Yeah, definitely.
I think we probably should.
I know it's a trap, but we can handle it.
Well,
How would you know it's a
in that
trap?
case, I will prepare Shield of Faith.
Okay.
If we get into any trap-like situation.
Are all of you going in just guns blazing, or are you going in stealthily, or like, what's your
And
plan?
preparing. Oh wait, what kind of spells do I have?
Guys, I have an idea. Before we just walk in, I still have my cloak of invisibility. I can.
Yeah,
This is why we have you.
Okay.
Yeah, do that. That would be great.
That would be amazing.
Okay, so Talia puts on the cloak of
No,
invisibility.
Durgad
Me.
does.
Or Durgat, sorry.
Jesus, that's the second time today.
I'm sorry.
Sure.
It's not like I can see your faces, all right? Okay, so you put on the cloak of invisibility and you go towards the ship.
Yes.
Okay. Are you going inside, or are you just like staying at the perimeter, like trying to be hidden and see if
Well,
anything?
I'm invisible, so I'll go inside.
Traps.
I can always run away if something happens, and I'd like to investigate for traps first.
Okay. So, as you go towards the ship and you move in, you see that the large hole in the door has almost like a small set of like steps leading up to it, and it looks like this is more like a doorway, and that this is like some kind of a structure for somebody to live in or hide out at, or you don't really know.
Can I check the steps for like trip wire shit or whatever?
You can, but before you get the chance to, you hear like a low, throaty singing coming from inside,
Uh-oh.
and you just hear what sounds to be like a sea shanty, and what you can make out of it. Roll a perception check, actually.
Sea Shanty is definitely better than Cult Song, but...
Yes, that's
Yeah.
true.
By far.
8. Great.
So you can't really make it out. You can't tell if it's being sung in common or if it's some other language, but it's just like a low, throaty singing. And as you hear this, you see what looks to be a young bullywug come out of the ship. He has a metal tankard that he's currently drinking out of, and he has like a long pirate saber like on his side, and it's so long compared to him, in fact, that it's dragging on the ground.
It's good.
You see him come out, and you hear him sing, yo ho, pirate, Poogie pirate, Poogie captain, Poogie have rum, and you see him kind of like skipping along through the sand and like singing to himself, and he goes to pull out the saber, and as he does, you notice that he has to use both hands to actually pull it all the way out of the sheath. He takes a drink from his tankard, and as he like clumsily tries to swing the cutlass around, you can see that he has to rotate his entire body just to get the point out of the sand and move like a couple of inches. As he's doing this, you hear like a crack off in the forest, or in the rainforest, and it could be like a coconut falling out of the tree, or like a small animal like running through the underbrush. But as soon as he does, he suddenly gets in like a low stance, and you can see that he has like fear on his face. And you just hear him say, hello? Hello? And looking around nervously.
Can we see this at all?
And the saber like drops out of his hand. You guys do not, because Durgat is actually up further, basically inside of the ship.
I want to know if he'd like come out of the ship or anything.
So yeah, Durgat has a very good line of sight on this. Like, you might hear like some of the singing, but you don't see anything.
Okay.
And like as you kind of watch him do this, you just see him kind of like shivering a little bit and looking around like kind of nervously. And like the saber like drops out of his hand, and he's just kind of almost cowering.
Oh.
Okay, I want to ignore him at first, and I want to go up the stairs and also check for traps at first.
Inside of the ship?
Yes.
Okay. Roll sleight of hand, I believe. Or no.
God damn it.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ!
Can we use sleight of hand?
Actually, yeah. Go ahead and roll sleight of hand.
Well, I did. I got a 27.
27. Okay. It is not trapped.
Okay, good.
It's not trapped, and you see like the remains of like two other rum barrels inside of the ship. Like knocked over on their side and currently empty, as there's no liquid like flowing out of them.
Am I still downstairs, or did I go upstairs?
I would say at this point you've made your way like into the stairs, or like into the ship. And you're currently standing at like the threshold of the stairs, looking inside of the main ship. It's just a single room. It's not. There's no like upstairs or downstairs or anything like that.
So there's no one else here.
No.
Okay. Then I go out of the ship and I go back to the party. And I tell them about the weird guy with the saber.
He
Okay.
doesn't seem to be a threat.
It is just one guy.
Yeah, but where's the singing coming from?
From him.
Him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. From what you can tell, he's quite drunk. And like singing to himself and generally like living what he believes to be like a pirate life. If you had to put an age, actually roll a insight check. Somebody.
Could it be anyone that's not me?
I
Okay.
got a 16.
So, not really seeing many bullywugs in your lifetime. You do know that they're like kind of a large size, but what you see on this one, whose name is Poogie, he seems like a very young bullywug.
I love Poogie.
Um,
This dude is hilarious.
I lean over to Hadrada and maybe suggest, what are the extents of your disguise magics?
What's the extent of my disguise magic? I can
I'm-
disguise you.
I'm
to
insinuating you could definitely fool this man into thinking that you're just like a friend of his or something. Because he's drunk out of his mind.
Maybe. How about you do it?
Yeah, what?
Fine, I'll disguise myself. I disguise myself as a female polywog, or whatever you said.
Oh god.
Bullywug? Okay.
Bullywug.
Polywog.
Okay, so you now resemble a female bullywug. What are you doing?
I'm walking up to like just around like here,
Oh, I can't see this map if you're like on a map.
Try reloading.
When you say just around here, I was very confused. Let me reload. Now I'm still on the ship.
Huh, that's strange.
Hmm.
Try closing and then coming back in.
God, can you please move me? Thank you, God.
Okay.
Alright, this makes a lot more sense, yeah.
So, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to like yell, "Woohoo!"
Oh god, I
Oh,
sit there as
yes.
nowhere seducing expert and just like, oh no.
If cameras were invented, Tony would still be recording this.
I probably should have disguised Thalia. Talia.
Yeah. You should have disguised me, but you know, now it's too late. Go
Yeah.
for it.
I don't think you should have disguised me considering how much, like, clunky armor I'm wearing.
Hello, Mr. DM?
Mike, you're muted.
The cop is dead.
No! For
Oh,
God.
sorry.
Oh, he's
Okay.
back! Yes!
The cop!
Go ahead and roll a deception check.
Oh no, that's the one thing I'm good at.
Oh, damn.
Wow!
That's a 2.
A 2. Okay. So as you do this, Poogie looks up to you, noticing your presence now, and cowers even more and says, "No, no, no, no."
No?
Oh.
And he says, "Poogie, sorry for stealing rum. Poogie just want to be pirate."
I'm gonna use detect thoughts. Or wait,
Detect
no.
thought.
Detect thought.
Detect
Thought.
thoughts.
Wait, let me
Okay.
see. I'm not sure if that's the one I meant. If
You've
that's the one
detected
I
yourself.
Detect Instagram thoughts.
meant. Detect Instagram thoughts.
Poogie is not an Instagram thought.
Poogie is pirate.
Very bad pirate. Probably hasn't killed a single soul in his life.
Very good thought, though.
So yeah, at this point, Poogie is still just cowering behind the barrels, looking at you strangely.
Oh, I am supposed to tell all of you hi from Earth.
Oh, okay. Hello.
Okay, I
Hey.
say hi back.
I will.
So yeah, what are you doing?
I am going to say to him.
Say, do what?
I'm going to say to him, "That's okay. That's okay. There's no need to be afraid of me."
As you,
Disguise.
And I'm going to prepare to I'm going to
Eldritch Blast!
I'm going to prepare to Eldritch Blast.
No.
No!
Why? He's just
Poor
a child.
Poogie.
so as you prepare an Eldritch Blast, Poogie throws his hands up to you and says, "Poogie, sorry for stealing rum. Poogie just want to be pirate.
Can I see this happening?
Don't hurt Poogie."
Or can I hear this happening at least?
This is where you are on the map right here.
Yes.
You can kind of see it through the trees, and you can hear it for sure.
Can I have Sam reactionarily go and cast that shield I prepared earlier on Poogie?
Yes, you can.
Well... Okay, I'll save that as my reaction then.
I just say to him, like stopping my Eldritch Blast. say, I'm not here to hurt you.
He just stares at you in fear as you say this.
Can I persuade him that I'm not?
You can certainly try.
I'm not very persuasive, but you know, go on. I'd love to see that.
I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to help.
Okay. At that, when you say that, he kind of like looks slowly up at you, and you can see he begins to calm down a little bit, and kind of takes a couple of steps, like inquisitively towards you. But still, like keeping his distance, though. He would walk like maybe like up to there just to get like a better look at you.
I need to reset my hit points. Whoops.
And like he kind of looks around at the rum barrels around him and kind of feels like maybe this is his comeuppance, maybe.
What does comeuppance mean? I'm sorry, I'm an idiot.
He's getting what he deserves.
Oh, okay.
No.
I ask him why he stole the rum.
Okay. He tells you, I have a ship and only needed rum, and then I'm a pirate. A real pirate. They make lots anyway. They won't miss a couple barrels. Boogie would do anything to be a real pirate. But
Wait.
pirates are scared of me, like a monster. No one will let me be a pirate for real.
Wait,
Okay, I have
she said.
Two conflicting ideas.
So, I like say to Durgit, because they're the only one in range. I say to Durgit in my awakened mind. I say, I think that I think that he's not the one who's been stealing all the rum, because he just has a few barrels. Like, she said that the rum shipments have been stopped.
Can I reply?
Yeah, you can reply.
Okay, I say.
I can hear your
or
thoughts.
Whatever. Yeah, that's
That's
true.
kind of
and
Yeah, a little
and
bit.
weird. And I'd like to go closer because what the fuck can happen? I'm probably gonna die or whatever.
It's
but,
just
who cares? I know.
Okay. So seeing a second person approach, he kind of cowers again and like moves behind one of the barrels, like seemingly like kind of spooked.
Can I have Zam fly inconspicuously off like this way?
Yeah,
Just
definitely.
to kind of look at that area.
Okay.
Okay,
Are you rolling a perception check for Sam?
Sure, if you want me to.
Well, I mean, you don't have
I'm
to.
not
but-
necessarily like trying to perceive the area. I just want to like watch it.
Okay. All right, that's fine then.
Yeah, just to like get some vision over there.
Okay, so yeah, you see the ship and the rum barrels, and Poogie cowering behind one of the barrels as like the second person approaches.
Cool.
I wanna talk to Poogie and say, hey, don't worry, don't be afraid. I think you like this one. I'm actually a real pirate, you know.
Okay, roll a persuasion check.
Oh god, please. What the fuck? Where's there's 15.
15, okay. So as you say that, he kind of comes out from behind from the barrel that he's cowering behind and has like a wide look in his eyes like, you're a real pirate? And
Yeah,
takes like
yeah.
a step closer to you.
Are you sure that you want to be a pirate?
That's all Poogie ever wants.
God, my heart.
I'd like to cast a message on Durgut, if that's alright, and say, if you invite this thing on the ship, they will definitely be instantly killed by everyone on board.
One thing, Blue, you're not close enough.
I take a step forward and then say all of that.
Okay.
And I can reply to message as well, right?
Yes, you can prep message.
Yep.
Okay, I reply, yes, I am aware, don't worry.
Ooh.
I do worry. I worry about him.
You're so concerned with Paul Poogie.
So am I.
When Dixie kind of comes up behind Tony and Talia and says, "What's going on?"
Lots of
There's
things.
Pirate thing? I
Is
don't
it-
really know.
Is it dangerous?
No,
No.
I don't think he's dangerous.
It's a little bit adorable.
It's very adorable. I want to adopt him.
And then when Dixie kind of takes a drink out of her flask and says, "Cool, right on."
That's an attitude. Huh?
She's gonna rewatch this and be like,
Right
I am
on.
not one type.
Can I see if there's more to him than he's letting on?
Yeah, you can roll an insight check.
That's gonna be a 13.
13. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like what you see is what you get. There's no like underlying evil to him or anything. He just seems like a young bullywug that really wants to be a pirate.
This guy couldn't have stolen the rum.
Well, he's still part of it.
He
but everything-
definitely could have stolen a bit of rum.
But
Yeah,
not
but-
all of it.
I need to convince him to not become a pirate because holy shit.
Convince him to become an accountant.
I tell him, are you sure that you want to be a pirate? Because trust me, pirate life is scary. We have to work all day. The weather is not that great most of the time. You could literally die anytime if you have bad luck, and bad luck is very common on the seas.
An
Okay,
accountant is just
roll
like people.
persuasion.
Oh god, please be a
Big
good roll.
roll.
19!
Okay. So Poogie kind of looks at you. He has like almost like the sad puppy dog eyes and says, "Poogie has no family. Poogie die anyway."
Well, if it's death that you want. No, I'm just kidding.
No. That's just because that's so on point for you right now. Well, he's already dead. I might as well take the point.
Yeah, might as well.
No, I will kill you.
So as you're all talking amongst yourselves and kind of trying to figure out like what this thing is, you hear a loud crashing and stomping through the jungle heading your way
Oh boy.
I'm
Which
going
direction?
to run.
Which direction compared to me?
from the northeast.
It's that way. Can Sam see anything that way? From where he is?
Roll a perception check.
Persuasion.
Yeah, perception.
That's a 19 plus 4.
Okay.
3.
You see, even though like the jungle is dense, you see what looks like humanoid-sized shapes pushing through the underbrush and making their way towards where you are currently.
Are they large humanoids?
They're fairly big, yeah.
But they're not like giants.
No.
Okay.
I'm running
Okay.
I want to tell Poogie to hide inside the ship.
and say,
And,
there's something coming.
and as you do, you see 3 bugbears
Oh.
come out from the jungle. They're wearing kind of simple clothing, and the bugbear like comes up and points at Poogie and says, "There you are."
Can Sam come and cast Shield of Faith on him?
Yeah, you can.
Nice. He gets plus 2 AC.
So the bugbears, they the way they're dressed, they have like simple clothing on, like plain white long sleeve shirts and like an apron on the front and almost like a bandana tied on their heads. And they're holding, they do have weapons, but they're very improvised looking weapons, like, you know, a chair of a leg as a club and different things like that. And the bigger one in the middle pointing at Poogie currently, who obviously kind of looks like the leader. He says, "You think you can steal our rum? We work for hours every day on that, and not just to have it stolen. We're running a legitimate business, and won't have anything happen to jeopardize it."
You know, I think that's fair.
I like to step in and I'm like, whoa, what exactly is going on here?
And the bugbear kind of looks at you and says, "This little son of a rat's been stealing our rum."
All the time?
Do you really think that one little thing could steal all of it?
Oh my!
All of it. Some barrels okay, but all of it?
Roll a persuasion check.
That's a lot of persuasion checks.
Yeah, you're doing a lot of
17.
persuasion.
Okay. The
Christ.
bugbear kind of scratches his head. You can see like the wheels turning and him kind of putting everything together, and he kind of shakes it off and says, "Well, who else would it be?"
Well,
So
that's
we're trying to-
we were hired to find that out.
"Well, you found it," and points at Poogie.
Talia,
I've been
He kinda-
inside, those are not all of the barrels. They're like a handful, sure, but definitely not everything that has been stolen.
He kind of like kicks the sand like towards Poogie and says, "This little monster's been doing it. I know it."
Talia, have I been hearing all of this?
I would say you're almost out of earshot, so you can hear something going on, but you don't quite know like all the details.
She like comes up here. Azia follows her. Kind of sits here and then it like plays Azia here, so like she will know what's going on.
Okay. And when Dixie will follow suit.
I asked the bugbears, how many barrels have gone missing over however long that they have been?
Well, the last shipment, we know of 2 that were stolen at least. The rest were found at the bottom of the sea. The time before that, 3 barrels. The rest washed up on the shore a couple of days later.
So
This just doesn't make sense. Why are some of the barrels here, some inside, and the other ones are at the bottom of the ocean? This just doesn't make sense. You can't tell me how it would make sense.
He kind of thinks about it for a second and says, "Well, my best guess would be a little monster took what he could carry, and the other men were so scared that they fell off the raft, capsized it from the waves, and that's how the rest of them fell to the bottom."
Oh, so they're small little rafts.
Yeah, they're not huge rafts. They're like maybe 8x8 rafts.
Oh, well, he could probably, like, just whack his sword on it and it would fall over.
I point out, well, a lot of the missing barrels are here. You could just take them back and call it a day.
Half gone, mind you. That's 2 weeks' pay.
Half gone? You said there were 5 barrels missing in total. 2 first, 3 second, and there's currently 3 barrels right there. I don't know if you can math very well, but that's not half.
He like walks
You
up to the
talking-
barrel. He walks up to the barrel closest to Poogie and kicks it over, and only about maybe 2 cups of liquid comes out and says, "Does that look more than half full to you?"
Okay, but you didn't know that before you did that, so like, I was still right, okay?
I say
And
to him,
he just kind of glares at Poogie and looks at you and says, "Are you taking responsibility for this little monster?
no,
Unless you
however,
convince us otherwise, we're prepared to forcibly protect what's ours."
I will take care of him. Myself.
He says, the lead bugbear says, "I'll tell you what, you pay us 200 gold and we'll walk away now."
Take the barrels with you, sure.
You're paying that.
I'm paying that.
You're the rich one. You're muted.
Oh, I am?
Say he's paying that, he will definitely kill the thing before he pays money.
So, are you guys
The
paying
richest
the
one
bugbears?
Yeah.
Well, hold on.
No, not hold on. Yes, we're paying.
We're a conniving group of adventurers.
Another bugbear catches up and
I
comes
just said
into
that
the
out loud. Okay, we're not that conniving. Let's calm down.
He's kind of panting hard and heavy and like kind of looks around at the situation and sees Poogie and says, "You little bastard!"
Would you stop?
We have been over it already.
The lead bugbear says, "Pay the gold."
I give him the gold.
Okay. So yeah, he kind of catches the bag of gold as you toss it to him and looks over at the rum barrels and whistles to the other bugbears who go over and pick them all up and carry them like off into the rainforest. And the lead bugbear turns and looks at Poogie and says, "If I ever catch you stealing our rum again, cool, you'd better hope that these people are here to save you again." And then he turns around with the last barrel and walks off into the forest as well. And Poogie just kind of looks around and looks at you, and you know he's like cowering the whole time and very, very scared looking.
So a gold piece is 10 platinum, right?
Yeah.
So that means I actually have 1,500.
No, 1 platinum is 10 gold pieces.
Yeah, 1 platinum is 10 gold
Yeah.
pieces, yeah.
Yeah, not 1 gold is 10 platinum pieces.
You know what I meant.
Yeah.
So I walk over to Poogie, I pick him up,
I will kill you.
If I throw him into the fire.
and I yeet him into the fire. No.
Long live the king!
And I just drag him into the ship.
What are you
Okay.
doing?
So yeah, as you
I
do,
run after him.
Yeah, me too.
At this point, Poogie doesn't put up much of a fight because, you know, he can tell that all of you stood up for him and, you know, made the bad men go away.
Jordan, I will murder you.
What are you doing? You and Poogie are inside of the ship.
I just say, you better not steal any again.
And
How about
involve
you
that
come with
person.
us? We'll show you a place where you can be safe. And you can get all the rum you want.
Poogie says, "Rum? Poogie be pirate?
Yeah, Poogie be pirate.
Poogie pirate! Poogie pirate!"
I literally. God damn it, Hadrada.
And
Don't worry, we'll just take him to
kicking rocks over like fuck.
You see Poogie kind of going through the interior of the ship. He has like a probably 3 to 4 foot cloth, like a square cloth, and you see him like gathering up some things and putting it in the cloth and tying it together like a rucksack, and looks at you like, "Poogie pirate."
Oh, he's so fucking cute. I will adopt him. I will.
God.
Okay, but you're paying for him.
You're paying for it. I give you a dog.
Look, I need 3,000 gold, okay?
What for?
When I get 3,000 gold, I get a thing from my patron.
Okay.
You with your big demonic sugar daddy.
I pay him 3,000 gold and I get blood armor, which raises my AC to, I think it was 18.
Oh damn.
That's tasty.
Damn.
That's
Permanently?
like nice.
Permanently, yeah.
Oh, nice.
One second, let me look it up.
But I guess we could find out
It raises my armor class to 20.
Holy
Oh, nice.
And my strength to 16.
What?
That is
Jesus.
cool.
And you haven't spoken to the DM about
He, didn't you look over this? It's the blood forged armor.
No, you never sent me that.
Oh, here you go.
Wow.
Oh, gee, thanks.
Oh,
It's
thank
actually
you.
8,000 gold pieces, sorry.
That's kind of like the kid that like eats the candy bar before dinner and then asks if it's okay if he has a snack
Yeah,
before
can I,
dinner.
like...
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just rambling. What are we doing with this boogie?
I also get, rage from it.
Wow.
All the time, or like?
Not like no, I'm not always raged, but I can cast rage.
Ah, okay, I see.
Oh, this is homebrew.
Yeah, that is homebrew.
Yeah, I think we'd have to maybe balance it out a little bit more, because that seems super unbalanced, I'm not gonna lie.
Corn himself is homebrew though, so that's the page I used when I was all like, oh hey, can I use corn?
Yeah.
We could balance it out if you want though.
Yeah, for sure.
We could if you wanted.
I mean, you
otherwise-
would literally be like a wizard paladin, essentially.
A Waladin.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we'll talk it over out of game, and we'll kind of balance it out a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
Just a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit meaning I don't know how much yet, but definitely some.
Well,
But so yeah, Poogie has his stuff packed up, and he's looking at all of you anxiously.
I am also looking at all of us anxiously because I don't know where we're taking him.
yeah, where are we?
We're just taking him to the
could
tavern.
Take him. Yeah. We could wait for our next pirate crew to come in. Maybe they're nice people.
We're taking him to the tavern?
Yeah.
Apparently.
Do you think they're gonna like him at the tavern?
Well, we won't
Well,
know
we're
until
gonna
we try.
protect you. Right?
Okay.
I'd let them meet him.
I see.
So let's go.
Yeah, let's get going.
I drag him to the tavern.
Not drag him.
Whoa, we have a horse and cart. Hold on.
I drag him to the horse
All the way
and
to the
cart.
tavern.
Okay. So yeah, Hadrada literally grabs him by the back of his shirt and drags him through the jungle back to the beach where the cart and horse currently are tied up to, and just kind of tosses him into the back. Poogie stands up and looks like a little bit dazed and kind of mutters something and looks around and looks like he's ready to go.
I untie my death steed,
Okay.
mount up, and
Bring him the
beckon the party on.
Okay. So you're heading back to the tavern?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you follow the shoreline, going south again, and take the shoreline all the way back down to until you can start to see the city walls in the distance, and you take the short footpath back up to the main gate, and the guards reopen the gates for you, and you and your cart go into town. As you go through, where are you going to hitch your horse and cart at?
I suppose just outside the tavern, if there's a tie-up place for travelers.
Outside of the tavern, there's not.
Where's the nearest one?
That would be the stable master just outside the city gate.
I'll tie him over to the stable master then.
Okay.
We should probably ask.
The stable master tells you to keep your horse and cart there. It'll be 5 copper a night
I see.
Oh, that's fine.
per day.
Oh, 5 copper. Go ahead, man.
Okay.
Give him
So yeah, you
5.
tie off your cart and your horse and pay him the 5 copper.
You're in quite a
and,
lucrative business here, don't you?
So I'm the only stable master around on this island, so.
Well,
You could drive the prices as high as you want.
And he kind of notices Poogie and says, "What the bloody hell is that thing?"
he's a friend.
He's your mom.
Don't worry.
He's
He's
something
not gonna hurt
alright.
anyone. He's very precious.
Ugliest damn thing I've ever seen.
Hey!
Usually people say that about me, so
Wow. It's an ouch moment. So, Hadrada, are we planning to take him to the tavern?
Yep, we're gonna take him to the tavern.
Alright, lead the way.
Okay. So yeah, from the stable master, you make your way back through the main gate, and make your way back to the tavern and enter into it. And it's picked up a little bit. It's a little bit more lively, and you see Shalisa behind the counter tending bar.
Nice.
Um,
I'm not introducing
I'm
it.
in danger. Or we're in danger. Have a bathroom.
I'm in danger.
I walk up dragging Poogie and say, we finished, we stopped the person who was stealing it.
And she kind of looks at you and then looks down at Poogie and says, "And this is him?"
Yes.
And she kind of gets down like onto one knee and looks at the small bullywug and says, "Well, I think you should probably start explaining yourself." And Poogie kind of looks over at all of you and then back at Shalisa and then kind of eyes down to the ground and just says, "Poogie wants to be pirate." And Shalisa kind of looks half like slightly amused and taken aback and says, "So, let me get this straight. You've been stealing pirate rum brewed on a pirate island for other pirates because you want to be a pirate. Why wouldn't you just go to a ship and ask to be a pirate?" And Poogie kind of keeps looking down and says, "Poogie monster. Nobody take Poogie." And she just kind of puts her hand on his shoulder and says, "Well, if no one else will take you, you're kind of cute, I suppose. I might take you." And looks up at all of you and says, Would you mind if I kept Poogie?"
Not at all.
Let's go to home.
Then she kind of looks at him and says, "But no more rum. You're too young to be drinking that." And she kind of takes Poogie by the hand, and you hear like as she walks up the stairs, like, "Here, I'll show you your new room." They walk up the stairs together, and she comes back down and says, "He's settling in."
We just got a little fish boy adopted.
Oh, it's just like an imperialist.
I had no idea what you just said, Talia said, but I think that adds to it.
And Shalisa kind of looks around and says, I never found a mate of my own, so I never had any kids. Maybe Poogie will fill that void. Who knows?"
I say one of them, mate, and chuckle.
And she kind of looks around at all of you and says, "Well, thank you for figuring that out. As strange, I'm sure, as it might seem, but I do believe some payment is owed. Yes."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Wow.
and Vagina, you're muted again, by the way.
I'm aware.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Only if you insist, I say.
Yeah. We're friends after all.
And she kind of pulls out like a coin purse and starts pulling out some gold coins and stacking them on the counter and counting them out, and says, how's about 50 gold for each of you? That's all I can spare at the moment. Business hasn't been great, as you know."
I'm sure I'll be bringing after that delicious barrel of rum. And I
Yeah.
say, that should be fine, thank you.
And she looks pleased that the problem's been figured out, that the rum will continue to be shipped, and there shouldn't be any issues now.
Nice.
And says it'll still be a while before you get back to Ducor, so we'll have to continue making as much of the rum here on island as we can until that deal goes through.
Yeah.
And looks around like, "Well, I guess I could get you guys some drinks too."
Oh, please. I say.
That would be great, thank you.
And she says, "You know the deal. Rum or ale, that's all we got."
And I'll
Some
be
rum for me.
a round of rum for me, please. And
I
I'll for the
would
party
like some
orders.
powerful
Yeah, some rum for me
rum.
too.
I would like
2
some
rums and
powerful
ale.
rum.
No, nothing for Hadrada.
Yeah, I'm gonna intervene on that one.
Okay.
And
Damn.
before you get your drinks, you have by a chance seen the last month's
You're cutting out.
okay. Wait, let me. Better.
I think.
Yeah.
So, you haven't seen by any chance the dark elf coming through here? She's a bit taller than me. Has hair, a star on her thigh.
And Shalisa kind of says, "Well, we see lots of dark elves around here. Unless she comes in on a specific crew, I couldn't really tell you truthfully."
Okay, thank you anyways.
And she says, "Well, it sounds like you're looking for something, so I hope you find her."
I hope so too.
And she hands all of you your orders and says,
I guess nothing.
"This one's on the house. Don't even worry
Oh.
about it."
You're too kind, honestly.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
And I tap on the table and down it.
She, in fact, for those that got rum, you can tell that she went to the far right barrel, which you know is the very, very like high dollar, like
Ooh.
triple distilled, like the good stuff. Not the swill that Hadrada was drinking the night before. This is actually like very, very, very top shelf rum.
Oh,
A quality glass.
that's so expensive. You shouldn't have.
And the ale, they only have like maybe 1 or 2 different types of ale, and they're both pretty similar. One's dark, one's more of a lighter one. So, nothing special, but nothing terrible either.
In that case, is that all we have to do here?
Well, you have to find passage out of Santine.
Yeah, that's like our next.
Our next
Yeah.
little mission.
There's also we could have a look around town as well. Wonder how.
Yeah.
Asked Shalissa.
Yeah. It's a good. This is why we have you.
Is this gonna be our new like thing? This is what we
Doug
have.
has a good idea line. This is why we have you.
So she
Yeah, figure the criminal half-orc pirate thief is the one with common sense.
So are you asking Shalisa about
Yes, I
any
am.
like points of interest or like things of that nature?
I wave her over and ask potentially is there any where we can make the passage to Udar?
She says, "Well, you could always go to the harbor master at the docks. He knows all the different crews that comes in, and he's even been known to sell a ship or 2.
Oh,
we
I
could
don't
have
think
our
we
own
can.
ship.
No, I don't think we can handle a ship
It
on
would
our
be
own.
so cool.
No.
Well, if it's a small ship, we could handle a small ship.
Yeah, but could.
And then she says, you could always meet the leader and proprietor of this fine town. They call her the Cannoneer. You can go to her estate in the north part of town and possibly talk to her.
Thank her for the information.
Yes.
Anytime.
Where do we want to be going? Got the Harbour Master and the Cannoneer. What a title.
Well, the Cannoneer
go.
sounds like they would have, she would have a job for us if there are any problems around here.
Hey,
Yeah, we could
I
make
would
some
just
money
like to
before we
say,
leave.
we have enough people
what
to man a
chicken then?
schooner.
No one's opposed to it.
To where?
The Cannoneer's Estate.
Okay. All right. So, as you go through town, you head north towards the way that you had left town previously, and you can see that there's another road that kind of jets off and goes east from there, and you follow that. And looming up, like in the distance, you can see what looks like a very, very nice, almost like a plantation home, like a very large 1700s style townhouse. Large wrought iron gates surrounding it. There's like palm trees and just dense jungle around it as well. You can see that they kind of left that up for an aesthetic. And there's a guard at the front gate.
Is the front gate like obviously closed for entry?
As you approach, the guard does say, "State your business."
Who'd see the Cannoneer?
And who sent you?
Shalice at the bar.
Ah, Shalisa sent you. Ah, okay. And opens up the gate and tells you, the Cannoneer at this moment has other guests that she is speaking to, so feel free to wait in the foyer area, and the Cannoneer will see you as soon as she's free.
Well, thank you.
Why are we seeing the Cannoneer?
Be absolutely chaotic.
Storming into the foyer. Where is she?
Where is her?
Imagine if the guests just walk out and it's the fucking Baron. Don't know what he's doing here, but it would be funny.
Don't give him ideas!
As you walk up, you see Baron Blackmore
And
from
his...
Are you
Blackfield.
serious?
No.
Okay,
As he
so...
catches eyes with all of you, they open wide in recognition. No, I'm just kidding.
So,
Tomlin, a tentacle monster we saw at the sea.
Tomlin comes up behind Blue with a poison dagger and
I
stabs him.
opportunity attack him. Roll damage. Divine smite. I will gut Tomlin the next time I see him, mark my words.
Who's worse, Tomlin or Fiends?
Oh, it's a tough competition. This is
So
the
yeah,
conversation we're having in the foyer.
yeah, exactly. We'll say retroactively, you walk up the main like pathway up to the house, and it's a very long, straight and flat, almost gravel road leading up to it. And there's grass on either side of it, like very nice, well-kept grass, and the natural trees of the jungle, and dotted around in different areas. And you can see walking up the steps that there's large marble columns for decoration, like holding up like the sides of the roof, but just completely encircling the building itself. The building itself is a very nice wooden building, like a tannish brown in color with a red roof. The marble pillars around it are stark white, and the main door is a very nice double ebony wood door with gold hinges and gold doorknobs. And you walk in, and you come into a very open greeting area, the foyer. There's chairs and different side tables with beverages and pitchers holding different wines and different drinks. There's a couple of bowls of local fruit sitting around on some of the tables as well. It's a very comfortable space.
I need to pick spices.
You can see walking in, there's a very large, extra wide staircase that leads up to the upper levels, which have a guard railing around them. And there's a large chandelier hanging in the middle of the roof
Are we allowed to snack?
ceiling. So yeah, there's chairs and stuff you can sit on while you wait for the Cannoneer to finish her
take a
business.
Man, this place looks like it's asking to be robbed.
Hey,
Reminds
watching.
me of home. Disgusting.
Yeah, it's a very nice house.
Literally nowhere I've ever been.
It's very like upper class. You would you would expect to see it with owned by like nobility. It's like that nice of a house.
I mean, the security is low, like, expensive stuff is just standing around here, and I feel like there's a reason it hasn't been robbed, so I don't think I'll try.
We are trying
You
to
can-
seek counsel with them. I don't think we should be stealing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And Durgan, if we ever, hopefully will not happen, but if we ever come to my family's home, you can gladly rob them.
Yes. Will you help me? Do you know where security is?
Oh yes, obviously.
Okay, nice.
So as you talk about this, up the double staircase, you hear a loud like creaking of an opening door, like. And as you hear that, you see 3 different people come walking out. 2 of them look like captains of different ships. Nobody that you've really seen yet, or anybody that you would really know. But walking out with them is a dark elf, outfitted in very elaborate, like sea captain looking gear. A large feathered hat sitting on top of a bandanaed head. Very nice, like brown leather armor with an ornate overcoat and a very long rapier sheathed at her side. And you see her kind of talking with the 2 men on their way out, walk them down the stairs, opens the door for them, and they exit. And she turns around and says, "I will see you now," and walks up the stairs and motions for you to follow.
I'll follow politely behind.
Yes, I just do.
Okay.
Me too.
Okay, so all of you go into the room with her, and she closes the double doors behind you. And the room you walk into now, it looks like a very cozy like study, or like almost like a meeting room. There's multiple bookcases around on the walls, and the walls are a very natural, like dark wooden mahogany color. There's different candles and like a globe of the world sitting on the table, and different maps and charts pulled out on the main desk that she sits behind. And she kind of points over to a different table that has goblets of wine and different fruits and things, and asks you a beverage. Would you care for something to eat?
What's on offer?
And she looks at the fruit and says, "Oh, well, there's kiwis, bananas, coconut halves.
Oh, I wouldn't mind a coconut.
There's a very, very lovely red wine in the
I love
over by
that.
the goblets. There's a pitcher there. Help yourself."
Thank you. It's most generous of you. You know how to entertain a party.
And so yeah, as you go and look over the different hors d'oeuvres and beverages and pick what you want, she patiently waits for you to come back to like the desk area. And as you do, you sit down in front of her, and she kind of leans forward in her chair and says, "So you're the newcomers, are you not? You came in on Octavius's ship, didn't you?"
That is true.
That is us.
Then she kind of like folds her hands together and kind of thanks for a minute and says, "So how is Octavius doing these days? I haven't seen him in so long.
I
It's
tell you, weird.
weird, you
Say
say."
weird. Yes. He is not acting like he usually does. According to the crew, like this big change happened a few months ago.
Uh-huh. That's very
lately-
strange. It sounds like possibly you could confirm some of my fears, some things that I've heard.
What have you
What
heard?
have you heard?
Well, it almost completely mirrors what you've just told me. The good captain, he's been acting very odd from what I've heard, and it's become more ruthless and more self-serving, it seems like.
He has
The,
not
uh,
always been like this?
Oh
No,
no,
he hasn't.
no, he was quite the charming man up until a few months ago.
Was he quite the charming, non-magical man?
Oh yeah, he was. From what I could tell, he had no powers. I haven't heard much about the powers you speak of now, but when I knew him, no, of course not. He was just.
The connection between magic water powers and ruthlessness has only just clicked into his head. It's just like flash of inspiration gone. Oh! He's like got his hands to his head like, of course! Why not?
And
You
she says,
know-
where did you come from? Are you crew of his that have been with him for long, or are you somewhat new?
No. We're, oh, we get some loot.
During this time, Tony's just pacing back and forth in the background, like, why didn't I fucking.
Well, I've been part of this crew for a while now, but I have been gone for the past year because of a recruiting mission.
We just kind of merry little band just kind of joined. We met each other and
Magic powers and the killing.
She says, so.
we just come from Wintervale, all of us. That's where we sailed from.
Oh, Wintervale, okay.
Fuck.
That's,
Are you okay, Tony?
Oh, yeah, I just feel
Yes,
a bit dumb.
is your friend okay there?
I'm.
Yeah, no,
It was
he's
so
something like that.
obvious.
Just don't worry about that.
Don't worry
what
about
is
me, I'm
obvious?
fine.
Tony, what is obvious?
Tony, what's wrong?
Did you know this whole time? I only just made the connection.
What kind of
well,
connection?
I knew that those water powers were new, but
What connection?
Tony,
are you
Fuck.
okay?
That's what's made him a bit more stabby killy, isn't it?
Well, I also know
Possibly.
that apparently
Yeah.
because some artifact they found in Balm or something. I think one of the crew members told me that.
Tony, why don't you
She kind of leans back in her chair and says, an artifact?
Meanwhile, Talia's just
You got
consulting
more.
Tony in the background, like drink.
My eyes are like really narrowed as I'm like scooping bits of coconut out of the shell, like.
She says, well, yes, the serpent did go north a while back to do a job. There was a transport of some kind, a relic, as you were saying. I thought that job had been finished months ago, years ago.
Well, that's what they told me, but apparently Captain has been with ever since.
And the water powers.
Well, last he was here, he told me that he had handled delivery of that relic personally.
I think he handled it a little too personally, if you catch my drift.
Although, we haven't heard from the buyer in quite some time.
I think he might have personally delivered it to his own back pocket.
Will you shut up?
He was one of our best clients, actually. We've shipped a number of things for him over the past few years. He usually comes to us with new requests, but we haven't heard from him in quite some time.
About the
I
time,
ask-
as in around the time my dear Captain delivered that thing.
Yes, actually, yes.
Oh no.
I'd like to ask, is there any way we might be able to find this buyer, or whatever's left?
Will you shut up?
I just want to know.
And she says, well, it was a buyer in Esdale, in the capital. A Mr. Grisham Lockheed.
Okay, thank you. Can I trust that if any suspicious parties ask about this conversation, it will be kept in confidence?
Oh, of course, of course.
Thank you.
And she kind of gets up and pours herself a drink and takes a sip and comes back down to the table and like sets the glass onto the table and leans back in her chair and says, "Now to current matters. Did you have something to ask me?"
Two things actually. I think. First, do you have anything, like, if there's anything that maybe, like troubling right now in the city or something, like some kind of thing we could help you with? We are the guys.
She kind of raises an eyebrow and looks at you, says, "Well, isn't that very convenient then?"
Oh,
And
is
you
it-
can see that she begins thinking and says, "Well, we have a prisoner, a Captain Azura. We sunk his ship. He was trying to get a map through our protections to the Merchants Guild. Apparently, they offered him a lot of gold and a new life to betray us. There's no doubt of his guilt, and he will face execution in the next week. The problem is, his old crew doesn't share our sentiments. They've been gathering men and have been threatening to break him out, spilling blood if necessary." She says, "The main rule that we operate on here is that everybody works for each other. That's how this place survives. This Captain Azura, unlike your own Captain Ocvius, has begun to act more in his own self-interest, and thereby putting the entire colony in danger. Is there anything you can do about this?"
How big is that crew?
Well, so far they've gathered roughly 20 men.
Joker's just like, can we murder them?
We can try and murder half of them and convince the other half to not be shit.
We do prefer as less of bloodshed as possible. We try to keep it civil within the city. We are
Yes.
pirates,
Well, we
but
can also fight outside
we
of
do
the
have a
city.
code.
We can also try and talk to them first.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's why we.
If you can talk them out of this, that's fine with us. But Captain Azura will face his judgment.
Is there anything else we need to know about this captain, or?
Well, he's been working with the Merchants Guild out of Vudar, and they're a good portion of, let's say, our plunder. So we try to have as little dealing with them as possible unless it's sacking their ships. But if Captain Azura was to make it through with the maps through our defenses, they would probably come and attack us and take the island.
Wow. That's pretty serious.
Indeed it is.
You did see our defenses, the natural barriers around the island. There's only certain safe paths through there, and it's mapped on a special map that only I own. He snuck into my quarters and stole the map in the middle of the night and tried to make off and sell it to the merchants.
And I suppose a serious matter would oppose some kind of serious reward, yes?
Well, of course. I can get you what you need, gold, ships, horses.
Can you get us
Supplies.
travel to Vadar by chance?
I could get you passage to Vudar.
That'd be great.
Well, look at that, our interests cross paths.
I just need to find a friendly ship that is heading in that direction.
Well, how as we find this captain of yours and you find us that ship?
Well, the
Well, the
captain
captain's
is
already here.
locked up in the dungeon.
It was a turn of phrase, please do not think about it too much. Thank you very much.
And she says, so, the main crew members you'll find that are starting all this mess, Ishkar is the first mate.
Okay.
Then he has his muscle, the stupid twins Mope and Mup. Simple-minded,
Are those their given names?
simple-minded half-orcs. And they've gathered roughly a mob of 20 people.
Well, let's hope we don't kill 23 people then.
We
I
probably
don't
just
think
need to
like
take out the head
these guys-
machos.
These guys are the reason why half orcs have such a bad reputation.
Honestly. Probably just shakes her head. Her head.
Heads, is there something you haven't told us yet?
And she says, so if you take care of this, I believe we had an accord.
Where can we start?
Well, Ishkar, Mope, and Mup, they tend to hang out at the tavern, sometimes down by the docks. They're simpletons. They don't go far off their normal paths.
Well, thank you for the information. We'll look into.
So, the cannoneer.
Question.
Oh, okay. Yes. What is it?
Talia, you want to ask 2 questions. You only asked 1.
Yeah, no. The second question has like resolved itself because we need passage to Vidar and our interests are pressing, so like,
Ah, okay.
it's fine.
So yeah, passage to Vudar, and then you handle this for me.
Sounds
Yeah,
fair to me.
That's fair.
Then she holds out her hand to Durgit, says, "Then it's a deal," and shakes your
Turn to
hand.
the others and shake the hand.
Okay. And she says, "Well, if that's all the business you have, I do have some other people I need to speak to.
Of course.
Do me a small favor, though. If you find yourself on Octavius's ship again, keep an eye on him. And when you come back here, let me know what happens, what you see, what he does."
Trust me, I plan on keeping an eye on him.
We all do.
And she says, "Well, very well then. Our interests align."
Well, I have one more thing about my captain. It's not a lot. Like, apparently he does some weird research on something, and he's very secretive about it.
Well, I would assume that'd be the relic, if he indeed still has it.
That would make sense, but I wouldn't know why it would be such a secret.
Well, we've for ourselves gathered things were out of, or at least one artifact, so to speak, that has some kind of immense power, right?
Well,
I want to
Well, if you say that he has abilities now, I would only assume that it would come from the relic. He
Well, yes,
certainly
and-
didn't have them before.
As you said, I just. How did I not see that?
need some more
What is it?
consulting.
I'm fine. It's just.
Will you tell us?
Tell you what.
No, we're like talking with Tony, like.
Relic and the magic power. How did I not?
What I was
Of
gonna
course, that's
say
the
is
thing.
that
She kind of looks at Tony and says, "Take your time, dear. Take your time."
Nah, it's fine. It's fine. I'm sorry. Continue.
And she says, "Well, if that's all the business we have, I do have other people to see, so..."
yes, we don't want to take up too much of your time.
Then she
Thank you for
opens,
having us.
and she says, "Oh, you're quite welcome. Come back when you've learned something interesting."
We will.
And then opens the doors and leads you downstairs and out the front door.
As I'm leaving out the front door, I say, "Of course." God.
Jesus Christ,
Tony,
Tony.
no one is here right now except for us. Do you want to tell us?
No, I
Or
just,
one of
I
us?
didn't make the connection that the artifact and the powers is what making him so evil.
We.
Ah,
It's okay, Tony.
it was so
Sometimes-
obvious.
Sometimes people are a bit stupid. That's okay.
Thanks.
The path out the front gate, and the guard opens it for you, and you head back down into the city. Or the town, I should say.
Well,
let's look for that Ishtar guy then.
To the
And
tavern.
Mope and Moop or
Did you
whatever
say-
their names were.
If you need to.
Well, here's the thing, if
Well,
he
if you're
is
so
running the whole
aptly ready for it.
operation, technically we only have to kill him and everything would fall apart, right?
Oh, we don't have to kill anyone.
No, but
We're
worst
gonna
case
kill
scenario,
him.
you know?
Worst case scenario, we kill everybody.
That would be the
No,
best
like,
case
what I'm saying is
scenario.
Best way to get information out of someone is sometimes seducing.
Well,
I,
this is
as a
the party
pirate,
bard.
If you need me to do some hoeing, I will gladly do it for you.
well, I can tell you as my experience from being a pirate and work, looking really scary is also a good option.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
So we've got fear and pottery.
so, I think the best case scenario is if we do kill everyone.
Of course you think that's the best case scenario.
That is not the best case scenario. That is far, far from the best case scenario.
But we still need to get some dead people in order to not end the world by this
How
poor
about-
people Tony released.
We escalate from the least violent to the most violent.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
once we start
definitely.
murdering, we can't go turn around and be like, you. It's a mighty fine saver you've got there.
I mean, unless one of us practices necromancy in secret.
How do you know I don't?
So we'll start at the ground, and if we need to escalate, we'll go to plan B. And if we need to escalate past that, we'll go to plan, I was gonna say B, but, because that'd stand for blood everywhere, but that doesn't make sense now.
Okay,
You get
let's
the
just go
picture.
murder that Fabius guy.
Right, let's go to the bar, look at the situation, and then make a decision.
Maybe escalate.
Why
That's
did you roll
500.
What'd you roll that?
I don't know, why not? So, sorry about my ghost voice, but,
Let's go first.
So, are you going to the tavern?
yeah,
Okay, so yeah, we'll say that you walk into the tavern and go inside.
we walk
and
into a bar.
As you talk.
I'm looking for Eshka.
Can I roll investigation for looking for Eshkar?
Is there an individual with 2 half-orcs?
Yes, you
By
can.
chance?
We should probably ask Charlie. Whatever.
Oof. Even with a +4.
The room is too dark for you to make out.
Really?
Wow.
What about me with my terrible dark vision? I can't see the roll. Hold on. I got 19.
So, scanning around the room, you do see what looks to be like a large, bald human with 2 larger half-orcs standing next to him.
I point them out to the group in a reasonably subtle way.
I
Okay,
go
should
over.
I do
They're
it? Should I?
They're just
Should I
sitting.
go?
They're just sitting at a table at the moment, having drinks and like talking very intensely amongst each other.
Should I go?
I feel like
Sounds like
Ballroom
a
Blitz
female.
is on the bottom of the agenda in the
So-
middle of a bar.
Here's what I need to do.
Oh god.
So we need to get them outside. For
Oh
one.
god.
How we do that, I don't know, but we need to peacefully get them outside.
Should I go?
Or we could just
You're more than
talk to them
welcome.
and talk them out of doing this small little uprising.
Well, we'll first try
Oh,
and
yes,
talk to
yes.
them.
Well, yes,
Yeah, we'll
outside.
try and have
So
a
it's-
chat. Then we'll escalate to potential murder bit. How's that?
Sounds good.
We'll start with chat. Murder bit. Yes.
Tony, I need you to set Sam onto my shoulder.
Okay, I'm
Don't you have your own?
Yeah, but like, then
Yeah, but-
Tony can't see
yeah, now I can cast it.
what I do. Okay.
Alright, Sam's down on your shoulder pretty heavily.
Okay, what
You're like,
should
you've
I?
got a menagerie of birds on your shoulders right now.
I'll leave Azia with you. I'll trust you in her. I'll give her into your care for a moment. What should I say to them?
I don't know. You're the expert. I don't know. Whatever.
So I should get them outside somehow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so she like makes herself a bit pretty, you know. Like
Okay.
maybe like make sure that
Roll a performance check.
for being pretty.
Well, because you said that you're like making yourself up, right?
Yeah, good.
Yeah. So roll a performance check.
25.
25.
25. Okay. So yeah, you completely like doll yourself up. You know, you went to the nines on it.
Okay, good. And go over to them and be like, hi. This really sweet, you know,
Yeah.
sweet little cute girl voice. Can I sit with you guys?
And they see you approach, and like they kind of like look around at each other and like kind of give like a snaggletooth grin and look at you and kind of nod at the open seat next to them and says, "By all means."
So,
What's a pretty lady like you doing talking to scoundrels like us?
oh, I'm I'm new on the island, so to speak, and you guys caught my attention. Who are you to be?
And the bald human says, well, "I'm Ishkar," and points at himself. And then the other two don't even speak the half orcs, and he says, "They're Moot and Mutt."
They not very much the smarts, huh?
Or Mope and Mup, sorry.
They don't have the smarts very much, huh?
They're not big talkers.
Wow, okay, I see. So what are you boys talking about?
Well, our captain's in the dungeon. We're trying to recruit able-bodied men to help break him out. Would you wouldn't be interested in helping us with that, would you?
Oh, I don't know. Prison break? A pretty lady like me?
Not so much a prison break, more the beginnings of a revolution.
Viva la revolution, as they say where I come from.
You're from France?
Shut up.
This little place in Esdale called France.
Oh, fuck.
And as you talk to him, says, "No, I think you'd be a great member."
Do you, It's getting a bit warm in here, don't you think?
I would say so.
How about we go catch some fresh air outside for a bit?
Hearing this, I would like to signal to the party to all go stand outside the door.
Okay. And he kind of looks at the two half orcs and gives like a laugh and says, "Let's go."
I walk outside with them.
Okay. And he follows you out.
Just for the image, I'm stood like right outside the behind the door, back against the wall, waiting for the door.
Do I have a battle map?
Do we need a battle map for this?
I hope not.
We may well might.
Just in case.
No, there's not. I had one for inside the tavern, but I don't have one for outside, sorry.
Well, we could use this. We could pretend the boat's the tavern.
Or actually, you know what? Hold on. You just brought Ishkar out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah.
Okay.
And the half orcs.
And Hogwarts.
Oh, okay, so all three.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Alright, one
That's
second.
what you
Wow.
said, I think.
I'd like to message the group just to check. We are planning on the hill, right?
You cut out a bit there.
Well, at least I first
We are gonna
Calmly talk to them.
We can calmly talk to them.
talk to them at first and let's see where this goes.
Okay. We'll do that.
Okay. So, you're all outside of the tavern.
Nice.
Ooh.
Nice.
Why are there 3 lizard folk?
No reason.
Why not?
No, they're
Where
just hanging
am I?
around.
Wait, lizard folk?
Or are
Okay,
those
now
not
they-
lizards? Are
No, those
dragons?
are the half orcs.
I thought
They
these were the
have
half orcs.
tails.
These guys?
They have
No, I'm
tails.
talking about these guys.
Up here.
Yeah, these.
Oh no, those are kobolds.
Okay.
They're just hanging around town. having a good
No,
time.
that was for that introduction game for Earth.
Oh,
No.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Okay,
Where's
so yeah.
where's the rest?
Can I
Where's the
please
rest of
appear?
us?
That'd be really nice.
I'm not here.
I'd like to join the party.
Okay. Oh, right. Hold on.
Where are our tokens?
Tony's gone.
I've
Oh
disappeared.
no.
I cast invisibility. Oh my god, I've got the thing where I can make them, but I can't move them.
Oh wait.
Okay.
Durgat's not here either.
No, a gelatinous cube ate us when we went
Oh,
outside.
God.
Oh no. I deleted myself.
You deleted yourself.
One second.
Oh no,
Just
Talia,
delete yourself.
Alright, 1 second. I'll
I
get
just
Talia back.
fucking yeeted myself.
That moment when you
Oh, I
accidentally
deleted my-
your life.
I deleted
Can we
myself
stop
as
deleting-
well.
We stop deleting ourselves. I'd quite like this party to be more than one person by the end. Suddenly you all fizz
I was
out.
trying to delete my familiar, but then I deleted myself.
Yeah, that was what I was doing too.
Alright, there we go.
Thank you.
Right, we're all here and none of us have deleted. I'm stood like here outside the door.
I'm stood like over here.
This is
Yeah, I
the
just,
door.
I know, came out with
I'm
the
like over here in the
voice.
darkness, all spooky because I'm a rogue.
Ooh.
Ooh, woo.
No
Okay.
one can see me.
Well, I mean, we're not like directly murdering, so.
So, yeah.
Directly murdering them?
Murdering
So,
is
yeah.
plan B.
So yeah, as Ishkar and the 2 half-orcs follow him out, they look around and see Tony
I pound the door closed behind them.
and say, "What the fuck is this?"
I don't know, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
And-
what the fuck is this indeed?
Everybody roll initiative.
Oh, are they hostile already?
She drops her entire demeanor like, this is... Do you think I was that stupid?
They already wanna
Oh,
tango.
Christ.
That was
Well,
good.
this just turned sideways very quickly.
Yo, I just got a fucking 20.
I roll a 3.
These guys about to go down.
Okay, 1 sec.
Can I ask just kind of how puny the bald human man looks? Does he look like he'd take a beating?
Yeah, I mean he's not puny. He's pretty
Hefty.
pretty big actually. Yeah,
Alright.
he's probably like a good.
2 divine smites.
Christ.
Probably, yeah. I mean, yeah. I'll be honest. They're not too hefty. I mean, they're just like simple sailors. So.
I just wouldn't mind striking the fear of God into them.
Okay. So, there we go. All right.
Oh, I can move soon.
So unsurprisingly, Talia is up first.
Okay. She like just kind of slowly raises her hands and is like, okay, boys. We don't have to fight this out, we can talk this out, okay? We don't...
Roll a persuasion.
I wasn't finished with my great speech yet, then... That is 20.
Okay. As you say that, he kind of looks at the two orcs and waves his hands like, put your weapons down. Says,
Look at that.
you have a minute to explain.
Would you give it pretty dazzling? Okay, no, I'm joking. So listen, this island, this town really looks like a peaceful and, you know, like such a beautiful, peaceful little place. And from
Well, it's not gonna be for long.
Shut up! I'm talking. You don't.
That's snapback.
Fucking rude.
Excuse me, fucker.
He just kind of looks at the ground.
That's what
In fact, roll intimidation.
Bitch, what? You don't
Can I-
interrupt this.
Give me advantage. No, like, not give me advantage, but like, Alex, assist me.
Yeah, I want look very scary, like over here in the shadows, with like my eyes says, if you do some bullshit, mate, you're dead. I will walk over and fucking beat your face in.
Tony says under his breath.
Roll intimidation.
Bitch.
I'm rolling. Oh shit. I was with that advantage? Yes, 16!
With advantage, okay. He kind of looks at you and doesn't really say anything. It's like, we're not gonna do anything.
God.
Tell me what this is all about, though.
I wasn't finished with my explanation yet. Rude of you interrupt me. So, as I was saying, from experience, you know that a revolution will destroy wherever it is. It will destroy families. It will destroy lives.
You ain't got no family.
I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about in general. Anyways, the captain is gonna face justice either way. There's nothing you can be able to do about it. And whatever your captain did crime-wise, it's obviously bad enough to be executed for. So either you're gonna blow this whole revolution off right now, immediately, this minute, this second, you leave this initiative, or person drown in the fucking sea.
Roll persuasion.
Not intimidation. Oh, I'm joking. That is 28.
And he kind of thanks, and he's like, all right. And turns and says, Captain ain't worth saving. I'm the captain now.
See? That's
Look at
better.
me.
I'm so proud of you.
I am the captain now.
See?
And then he kind of turns to the half-orcs and motions like, all right, let's go. And they go back into the tavern. And like as he walks in, you hear him say hello to Captain Ishkar. Who wants to buy me around?
No, and everyone is just silent and doesn't do anything.
Come on, who wants to? Anyone, guys?
Unfortunately, you do hear like a yeah from like
Aw.
inside.
Aww.
Unfortunately.
I would like to pat myself on the shoulder for those.
I'm patting Carly on the shoulder.
I'm disappointed I couldn't kick some ass, but
I'm disappointed I couldn't divine smite this fucker the next week, but...
Trust me, you can divine smite the next fucking
Oh.
see.
You're so lucky you got one more on initiative on me, or this man would be a crisp.
How the fuck is the paladin stronger than the rogue? How does that even happen?
I got a lot of spells.
yeah, the paladin is strong. Thank you, paladin.
So, with that thwarted, what are you guys doing?
We're gonna go back to the
I'm
cannoneer and tell them it's all dealt with.
I mean, we did it.
We
So-
dealt with this, didn't we?
Okay. So yeah, you head back northeast through town and get back to the front gates of the Cannoneer's estate. And the guard says, business again so quickly?
I have a
Well,
charm to myself.
We're efficient workers.
Yes, that is true.
It went surprisingly well.
Yes, it did.
And he says, "Well, go on in," and opens the front gate for you. And you make your way down the straight gravel pathway and go up the stairs and enter into the main room again.
I'll sit down.
Sit down.
Yes.
Yeah, we wait.
Yeah, I'll let patiently.
Okay.
Does
On
this
the-
constitute as a short rest?
Yeah. We'll say that it could be a short rest.
Hell yeah.
On the wall, on the doorway that you had just come in through, like the front doorway, you do see like a small copper bell hung on the or attached onto the wall by the doorway, like on the inside.
I'll ring it, why not?
Yay.
Ding ding ding.
Okay, so yeah, you give like a somewhat like quiet, polite kind of ding ding.
No, I do it quite enthusiastically.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you're like Quasimodo ringing the bells essentially on this thing, and you see the cannoneer come out from the top room that you had followed her into previously, and come running down the stairs like, "My lords!" Yes?
We dealt with your
We're done!
And you see like two other people from inside of the room kind of peer out through the door and like look at each other. And she says, "Done.
Yes,
You're
we
done
talked
with
about-
what?
We talked about it in the revolution.
You did. So
Yes.
diplomacy worked on those simpletons."
Yes, Ishkar is now the captain.
Diplomacy.
He was very happy about it.
I'd call it something else, mostly since I don't know what that word
That,
means,
that
but...
captain ain't worth saving. I'm the captain now, and back he went.
She kind of gives a chuckle, like, he named himself captain, did he?
Yes,
Well,
he did.
that ship won't be afloat for too long then.
Is he that terrible?
Apparently.
He's the worst.
How did he become first mate?
Well, when the options are limited,
Okay, fair enough.
But the options are limited, you don't think you'd go for your worst option. The worst.
Well, let's just say if I had to decide between Ishkar and those two half orcs, I'm pretty sure I'd go for the Baldy and not for the orcs.
so Ishkar's captain. Well, as per our deal, I shall secure you passage to Vudar.
Thank you.
Thank
Give,
you.
give me roughly a day, and I'll find a friendly enough crew to take you that way.
Like I said, well, give us enough time to have a look around the town. Thank you very much. She gives like a small bow.
And the cannoneer returns the bow to you and
Aww.
says, "Well, results like this are the kind that I like."
And they're the kind that we give, and I give like a finger gun with a cheeky smile.
And then from upstairs, you hear like a, and you see her peer up the stairs, and the two men are still standing there waiting for her to return. And she says, "Well, if there's nothing else, I have business to return to."
Oh, yes, again, we wouldn't want to take up too much of your time.
And she kind of goes back up the stairs, and you see her apologize to the two gentlemen and close the doors behind her.
Well, what'd you look at that?
And one of
Wow,
these people
easy.
were the Baronet Thompson.
Everyone is happy.
Yes.
Crewmates have a new captain, captain's happy.
So, are you going back into the town?
Should we have a look like what's around the town? We haven't really
What's
looked
the
around town
time?
that
Oh,
much.
we have
Fine.
Oh yeah, is it like late?
Layout of the town?
Is it
No,
late
I'll
at night?
take I must.
Oh, I would say it's like 2:30 in the afternoon.
We could have a look around, I suppose.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So yeah, you go back down into the town proper, and you go to like the merchant district, like the open air market.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so that's not too far off from the docks. Going up, you see what looks like a balding half orc standing at a stall, and there's some different like baubles and trinkets and different things that you can see.
Does anyone have like a little magic curio show?
It looks like if there was one, it would probably be that one.
Well, I'll have a nosy at his wares.
Okay. So you walk up, and the
Introduce
merchant greets you and says, "I'm Grom. Well, what can I get you?"
What do you have?
Magic.
It's like, well, I have all kinds of simple enchanted items. And he holds up a ring and says, "This has a magical stone in it. It'll glow any color you desire. And you can have it for 5 gold."
I'll take that for 5 gold.
And then he holds up what looks like a heart-shaped locket. And he says, this'll let you speak in your mind to another person 13 words once a day.
I can
But-
speak words in my mind to a person of unlimited words as many times I want a day.
But the
I see.
catch is, it's the person whose name is engraved on the locket.
Oh fuck!
And they
Is there
can
a name already
immediately
on the locket?
respond.
How
They
much?
can
How much?
immediately respond back as well.
Is there a name already on the locket?
Roll investigation.
16.
16. Okay. It looks like there was a name on it, but it's been scratched out
How much is that?
I'll take it.
and
I'll take
is completely illegible now. He says, "Well, this will be 25 gold."
Oh, for sure. Thank you. I'll take it.
No, I'm buying it though. I'm spending the money.
I want that locket though.
No, you're getting the locket, but I'm spending the money. I'm buying the hoard.
Oh,
Thanks,
no.
Dad. I mean,
And you can just see like his smile kind of widening as he sees like, "Oh, finally, some good
My
customers."
smile is also widening at the amazement of these magic things.
oh,
And-
stole that glove.
What else do you have?
He has nothing.
As you say that, he picks up what looks like a metal box with a hinged lid on it, and he opens it up. And as he does, there's like a small yellow-shaped like gemstone in it,
What does it
and he
do?
holds it up, and he kind of closes his eyes and like concentrates for a second, and the sphere lights up, and it looks like a miniature sun, and it provides light equal enough to a light spell.
How much is it?
He says
Do you
this
really need it?
is
Yes,
30 gold.
30 gold. He's bumping these prices because he knows I'm addicted to magic items. And by God, I'm buying it.
He holds up another gemstone, and it looks like a bloodshot, constantly looking around beholder eye, visible
What does
deep
it do?
inside of it. And he
What does it
says,
do?
once per day, you can add more to a saving throw against a spell.
Oh, I'm so laying down so much money for this.
It's a 1d4 to a saving throw against any spell.
And how much would that run me?
50 gold.
Are you sure? I'm giving you the
That's
money back
not
for the
worth
rocket
it.
later.
I'll take him.
Oh, Christ.
Okay.
You should give that to us.
I've already thingied the gold.
Don't, Tony, you don't. Well.
And then
Okay,
you see him.
I'll run for us later.
You see
I'm
him
going to
kind
distribute
of.
them in a minute.
You see him kind of look around his stall and says, that's about it. But I
Well,
do
in
have
that case-
this." And he reaches onto his belt and pulls out a key. And he says, "This key, it opens any lock that you specifically locked."
Oh,
Oh well, that's really useless.
That's kind of useless, yeah.
Well,
So does a
it is,
key.
though. And
If I locked it, I have the key.
And I
Yeah.
can unlock pretty much everything, so...
So we
we
do
already
need
have a
Alex.
magic key. I
Sort of.
point to Durga.
But no other key can open it once locked with this key.
I want to see if he's bullshitting. Just a
Roll,
guess.
roll an insight check.
It's gonna be so low, and I'm gonna so buy this key and look like such a tool. It's 11.
Can I stop you from buying it?
You can
11.
try.
He seems on the up and up.
If you want to
Tony.
stop me from buying it, make a persuasion check.
You really don't need this.
He says
Sweat.
he says you can have it for 10 gold.
15, come on.
Nah,
Tony.
15 stops me. Like, okay, I can see I'm getting a bit
Okay,
gambly.
I have a suggestion. How about you try demonstrate what this key can do, and I try to pick the lock.
No.
No,
I'm
it's,
alright.
it's fine. It's fine. No one
Yeah,
cares.
fine, really.
It could be useful if it's a real thing.
No, I'm good.
It's fine.
So,
Right. Take
So,
the handful of
uh,
wares I just bought and leave.
so looking around the market, you do see carrion stall that you bought the cart from. You see another female half-elf stall. You see one man standing with like a tent behind him with no stall, but a large iron chest sitting in front of him. And it seems to be the only thing that he has for sale. You also see a ship outfitting store, like closer to the docks. And also the dock master next to the docks as well.
Okay.
At a little
well,
like
We
wooden
can explore
stand.
that all next time.
all
And we can
right.
explore all that next time.
On the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Last time on Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
I'll
well,
give you back. I'll give